We need to have a serious conversation. The sentiment in the crypto market is at all-time lows, but if you've been watching my channel, you know that I remain bullish. In this quick video, I want to tell you why I'm still bullish in the crypto market and why I think that where we currently are is one of the highest risk to reward opportunities in this market. I'll be going over the key charts that I cover on a daily basis, but I'll also go over some other metrics which we have yet to discuss. If you enjoyed the content, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. Without further ado, let's jump right into the video. So on the lower time frames here, you can see that Bitcoin is still trying to hold on to this weekend low that we established. Now, if you're not a seasoned trader, as I discussed previously, I would simply wait for confirmation. And what would be that confirmation? Breaking above $107,000 and holding there as support. If we confirm that move, I do think that Bitcoin has a very strong chance to move higher. But that's not what this video is all about. This video is to discuss why I still remain bullish. I read the comments. A lot of people are extremely bearish, especially since we had that massive liquidation event on October 10th. Most people got wiped out of their positions and the sentiment is now at all-time lows. Every single pump seems to get retraced and you can see that the fear and greed index is now sitting at 15 in extreme fear. Can we go lower? Of course, this is a possibility. However, we are close to rock bottom here. Now we need to discuss something. A lot of people have been extremely bearish as Bitcoin continues to range around over here. Here's the thing. My base case is that we are trying to form a base before we can potentially move higher out of here. Now, where would I pivot? If you've been watching the channel, you know exactly what I'm going to say. If we start to get weekly closes below this level, $98,000, it's at that point in time that I'm willing to pivot my stance in the market and adjust my overall trading strategy. So right now on this chart, you can see that we are technically above that 98K weekly invalidation level. However, we are hovering right around that 50-week simple moving average. Now this one I really like simply because every single time this bull market, where we lost the bull market support band, we managed to hold on to this 50 simple weekly moving average. If we can hold on to here, it's highly likely that we get at the bare minimum a solid relief rally across the market. If you've been watching me for a while, you know that I'm a trader and I look for the best risk to reward opportunities in this market. And I firmly believe that where we're at is one of those opportunities. If we move lower, as I said, I'm happy to pivot my stance. But at this point in time, you can see that I entered a Bitcoin long just sub $100,000, and this was shared in my free premium group. Reminder, if you want to join this group, you have the first link in my description down below. You DM me the word premium on Telegram, and I'd be happy to onboard you into my free premium group. The only requirement, and I mean only requirement, is to sign up with one of my affiliate exchange links and start trading on there. Typically, I would recommend Bluffin because you can get a 15% cashback of up to $3,000, as you can see right here. And if you're already trading on Bluffin, I can actually have you transferred under my referral simply by you filling out this form down below. You click this form and essentially it'll bring you here. You type in your UID and all you have to do is essentially consent to being under my referral, and this will give you free access to my premium group where I share all of my own personal trade setups. Now let's continue the video. So you can see that Bitcoin is still flirting with this level, and you see that every single time that we do tap into that 50-week simple moving average, we tend to wick around. So I'm not willing to call it quits quite yet. I know a lot of people have flipped max bearish. At the bare minimum here, I still think that we will get some kind of relief rally towards the bull market support band, and we'll have to assess the market when we get there. Remember, this would be a pretty significant move, and so you can make some profits on the way up, and I will also be actively shorting this bear market, as I've been quite vocal about. And the next thing I want to show you as to why I think the bull market is not quite over, we still have tons of upside liquidity. This is of course the 24-hour chart, but if we take a look at a clearer picture here, do you really think that all of these shorts on the 30-day time frame are getting away with shorting the market without at least getting some kind of pump to the upside here towards, at the bare minimum, the bull market support band? I find it hard to believe. And if we take a look at the open interest, I also wanted to show you this. Open interest has absolutely plummeted since the liquidation event. Surprise, surprise. Now you can see that we're just hovering around this level, and typically when we get this kind of reset with open interest, it does signal that we can go ahead and move higher out of here. We're not over quite yet. And I also quickly wanted to discuss the Bitcoin ETFs. We've been seeing massive outflows. However, 2 days ago, we got over $500 million worth of inflows. Yesterday, it was around 300 million worth of outflows. But if we can slowly turn the tide here, I do think that price could move up faster than most people are willing to admit. Now, we also need to take a look at the Bitcoin supply in loss. Here is over 5 million Bitcoins now held at a loss, a threshold reached only during major market resets. If you watch my video today, you know that I discussed this exact metric. It marked capitulation in mid-2024 and again in April 2025, both preceding strong recoveries. Now it's back at 5.6 million Bitcoins. Historically, this level signals exhaustion of sellers and the start of accumulation. Now we also have this metric, which is the aggregate open interest of Bitcoin futures top exchanges, the 90-day change percentage. It's very clear that according to this chart, leverage is slowly bleeding out of the Bitcoin market again. Open interest has dumped 21% in 90 days, which we just covered. The same kind of reset we saw in September 2024, minus 24%, and April 2025, minus 29%. Before major reversals. Liquidations are clearing excess risk, leverage is cooling, and yet price is holding high, a classic bull market cleanup. These deep open interest flushes don't end trends, they reset them. First the deleverage, then the expansion. Now, if you've been watching the channel, you know that I'm not a perma bull. I don't believe that we will just absolutely skyrocket into 2026. That being said, at this point in time with where the price currently is, it would be absolutely foolish to go max short right around crucial support zones. Let's take a look at the Bitcoin chart here and zoom out a little bit more. So you have my weekly invalidation, which is found right at around $98,000. If we start to lose this level on a weekly time frame basis, that is when I'm willing to pivot my strategy in the market. We can have wicks down there as long as we don't go ahead and lose it. And if we take a look at the leverage here, perhaps on the 1 week time frame, you can see here that there actually is quite a lot of liquidity sub 100K. Are we going to tackle this region? Or are we going to move higher out of here? That's the beauty with trading the market, as I typically do. You get excellent entries and you can hold on to your trades, take some profits, move your stop loss at break even. A reminder, if you want to join my free premium group, you do have that first link in the description down below. But the point is, I'm not stressing. I already secured over 20K profit on this trade. And if this is to continue, we will likely see some massive profits. If I get stopped out at break even, no worries, on to the next trade. Now, what else is there to cover in this quick video? Look, I think it's pretty clear. I still think that the bull market is intact. Let's zoom out a little bit more here on the 12-hour time frame. What is this level over here in yellow? That is the yearly open. That would be the absolute worst case scenario in terms of a wick while still holding the bull market structure intact, in my opinion, of course. I still don't want to see weekly closes below $98,000, but we have seen some pretty nasty wicks in the past, as you can see the liquidation event, of course. And so if we were to get a wick down there, I would use it as an opportunity to be trading this market and getting that nice bounce to the upside. I am not a moon boy, I promise you. If you've been watching the channel, you also remember that I have shorted several times in this market, more notably right around this top where we made some significant profits on the way down, and then we ended up entering longs right around here as well, $107,000. In the short term, I just want to see us flip 107K. If we don't end up flipping that level, I'm happy to pivot my stance in the market. And that is the beauty of being a trader here. You have your positions, you get in and out of these positions. I have been very, very vocal about altcoins being horrible this bull market cycle simply because we are in a phase of quantitative tightening. Now, quantitative tightening ends on December 1st. Will we have an altcoin season? All of you guys that are holding altcoins, I need to say, you want to see Bitcoin move higher out of here and then distribute, because this would provide the environment where altcoins could actually start outperforming. Until then, I still think that Bitcoin will be outperforming the rest of the market, whether we go up or down. And so, to be perfectly clear, that is exactly why I have continued to maintain my Bitcoin dominance long. Altcoins collectively simply cannot handle this kind of Bitcoin price action. It has been the easiest trade to hold in this market. I hope that makes sense. I hope I've explained myself clearly in this video. I wanted to make it relatively quick as well. I still think that despite the fact that Bitcoin may end up wicking lower, we are still in a bull market, and we have been directionally correct for quite some time on this channel. And that sums up this quick video. You've been sold a dream with altcoins, and I hope that if you've been watching my channel, you managed to get out before we had massive capitulations across the board. If not, now you know for next time. Most of your crypto portfolio should be sitting in Bitcoin from a spot positioning, and the rest, I would typically be trading this market, getting in and out of positions and building your capital. Don't get me wrong, if altcoins start pumping, I will absolutely take advantage of it in terms of leverage trading. However, I will not be holding altcoins. The most that I'm willing to hold on that front is likely to be Ethereum. So I hope this was a good recap as to why I'm thinking how I'm thinking, and ultimately, I still think that the bull market is intact so long as we don't start getting those weekly closes below $98,000. If we end up wicking lower from a trading perspective, I would definitely be seeing that as a massive opportunity. As always, you have my leverage trading tutorial right here if you want to actively trade this market. It also gives you access to my free premium group. I hope you enjoyed this quick video, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video.